is CTV News.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Travis Fortnam. An unthinkable attack at a Hanukkah celebration in Australia is sending shockwaves through Jewish communities around the world. Now, government leaders there are facing mounting pressure and promising to toughen gun laws amid questions about how growing hate has been handled. CTV's Judy Trin has the latest.
Grief uniting hundreds of mourners 24 hours after a mass shooting on Bondi Beach. Violence that turned the celebration of Hanukkah into carnage.
Hundreds of people running and screaming off the beach. So I turned around and we just started running back as quick as we could back to our hostel.
At least 15 people were killed, dozens were wounded. The victims range in age from 10 to 87 years old. Among those killed, the rabbi leading the celebration, Eli Schlanger, who had relatives in Toronto.
He was just full of life, positivity. It was his mission to bring the light of Judaism into the world.
Authorities call the attack terrorism and anti-Semitic.
The offenders are a 50-year-old and 24-year-old male who are father and son.
Police aren't releasing the suspect names, but Australian media are identifying them as Sajid Akram and Naveed Akram. The father was shot by police and had immigrated in 1988 as a student. His son Naveed was born in Australia.
He was examined on the basis of being associated with others, and the assessment was made that there was no indication of any ongoing threat.
38 other people remain in hospital, but the death toll could have been much greater if not for a bystander. Ahmed Al-Ahmed, a local fruit vendor from Syria, tackled the older suspect and was also shot multiple times. 2 decades ago, Ottawa Rabbi Chaim Mendelson participated in the Hanukkah ceremony on Bondi Beach. He calls Ahmed a hero.
He is literally the light in the darkness. He is the silver lining of this story. He is the reminder that there is a safe future for all of mankind to live together.
In the aftermath of this attack, Australia's leaders are promising to tighten already tough gun laws, including putting limits on the number of guns a person can own, as well as reviewing licenses. Judy Trin, CTV News, Ottawa.
As the world processed that violence, the Jewish community here in Windsor came together just hours later to send a message.
Our job is to bring the light into the world. It's hard, it hurts, we want to cry, but at the end of the day in order to make this world a better place, we need to share more light.
About 100 people gathered along the riverfront last night for the lighting of Windsor's tallest menorah, marking the first night of the 8-day festival. Leaders from all levels of government were there speaking out against the attack in Australia, including Mayor Drew Dilkins, who helped light the menorah. Rabbi Shalom Galperin says with anti-Semitism on the rise, the focus remains on tolerance, respect, and standing together.
We need to be able to tolerate, I can have a difference of an opinion of you. I can believe in a different entity or whatever you want to say in religion. But at the end of the day we're got the same blood, we're human, and we should be able to respect one another and to be able to live together in peace and harmony.
New tonight, the Greater Essex County District School Board has filled 2 vacant trustee seats, appointing Cheryl Lovell and Chandrika Abang to serve until the next election next year. The board chose the pair after interviewing 9 candidates this week following resignations earlier this fall. Lovell, a retired teacher and former trustee, will represent Leamington and Pelee Island, while LaSalle and Amherstburg will be represented by Abang, a parent and school council member with a background in engineering. Both are set to be sworn in Tuesday ahead of the board's regular meeting. The town of Amherstburg is still trying to figure out what it's going to do about policing as the clock ticks towards the end of its contract with Windsor's police service. Council tonight announcing they've scratched one possible plan off their list. Back from that meeting is CTV's Robert Lothian. Robert, this process began with 5 potential policing opportunities.
Well, Travis, it appears there may only be 2 routes now for Amherstburg to find its next police provider. LaSalle has informed town officials they will not be able to accommodate an expansion to oversee policing in Amherstburg.
They would not be able to find the 30 police officers and get them trained, because you might be able to find 30 recruits, but you couldn't send them to the police college in Aylmer and have them trained in time for them to come on board.
Mayor Michael Prue says resources, costs, and the short timeline provided, or rather proved to be sticking points. Talks between the two sides began earlier this year after Windsor announced plans to end its policing contract with Amherstburg. The town's next service provider will take over in 2029. And so far, the two most realistic options left for Amherstburg are contracting the Ontario Provincial Police or restarting its old police force.
A great deal will depend on the costs, and a great deal will depend on our ability to set it all up and pay for it, the costs, and find the recruits and spend the money on the cars and the radios and everything else that has to be done.
Town Council is expecting a report in February examining all of its policing options. They are hoping to have a decision made before the municipal election cycle begins next year. Travis.
Thank you, Robert. That's CTV's Robert Lothian reporting for us tonight. Windsor police are now involved after a suspicious early morning fire ripped through a vacant downtown home, causing more than $300,000 in damage. Fire crews were called to the 600 block of Mercer Street near Wyandotte just after 8 this morning, where flames and thick smoke were pouring from the second floor of a vacant house. Firefighters spent about 4 hours battling the blaze before turning the scene over to investigators. The home is too unsafe to enter, but the fire is considered suspicious. The building is now slated for emergency demolition. No one was hurt, but Windsor Police and the fire arson unit are asking for the public's help.
We do know that in 2017, there was a demolition permit pulled for that property that was withdrawn. So at this point, we have one of our fire investigators on scene with Windsor Police Arson. If anyone has any information or neighbors in the area, commercial businesses in the area with any video footage that might be helpful, please reach out to Windsor Fire or Windsor Police.
Windsor Police also looking for the public's help tracking down this guy. Investigators say he broke into a kiosk at the mall earlier this month, taking off with more than $8,000 worth of phones and electronics. Investigators have released surveillance video of the suspect and the vehicle they believe he used, an older silver Cadillac SRX. Anyone with information is asked to reach out to law enforcement. A Windsor mom is putting her own story front and center as Unifor looks at how many members' families are struggling with homelessness and addiction. CTV's Michelle Molesky explains.
I'm tired of hearing politicians talk about the issue when they're not talking to the families.
Jody Nesbitt's 31-year-old son is living on the streets as his mental health illnesses and subsequent addictions have taken hold of his life.
To have no shoes and be wearing a winter coat in 100-degree weather, that's not somebody that's able to make up their mind and make a choice on whether to be treated or not.
Over the last decade, Nesbitt has been dismissed by doctors, ignored, or not even consulted.
He took him off of a community treatment order, and within 2.5 months, he was homeless.
Nesbitt now has Unifor's Ontario Council backing her fight to give families more say in how their loved ones are treated and how their workplaces navigate the trauma at home.
We're struggling because we've been up all night. There's been police at our doors, or our loved one has come to our doors. We're being asked by psychiatrists or hospital officials, well, maybe if he could come home. They don't know what we've been through. They don't know what risks we've already made.
Susan Fulmer knows what it's like to be dismissed by doctors and police.
They're like, oh, no, he's fine. 2 hours later, he was threatening to put an electric toothbrush through my eye socket.
Her son Tyler was living on the streets and suffering from drug-induced psychosis.
You can only get met by those roadblocks so many times before you throw your hands in the air and say, I'm going to be the kind of parent I never wanted to be, and I'm going to walk away. And I won't do that.
Fulmer took it upon herself to find her son and bring him home.
He is clean and sober and has been he just celebrated his 1 year. So that's fantastic. When he stays away from substances, then obviously the psychosis doesn't rear its ugly head.
She believes if doctors and police had listened to and taken into account her valuable information about who their son is, he might have recovered sooner.
We could help keep these people safe, which in turn keeps the public safe, which is why the laws were created in the first place.
Michelle Molaski, CTV News.
Stellantis says its new third shift in Windsor is filling up fast with more than 1,000 workers hired so far. The Windsor assembly plant is building 6-pack powered Dodge Chargers and Chrysler minivans. Stellantis says it's aiming to hire about 1,500 workers by early 2026. Right now, the company employs about 10,000 Canadians, more than half of them right here in Windsor. And some good news for Wheatley. The community's water treatment plant is fully back online 2 years after a fire forced it offline. Chatham-Kent's Public Utilities Commission says the plant has been restored and upgraded, improving reliability going forward. Officials are thanking staff and partners and giving a nod to Leamington for helping keep the water flowing during the shutdown. And in Essex, the clock is ticking on a new recycling program, and the mayor says some residents are still waiting for their blue carts. Mayor Sherry Bondi says about 200 households still don't have that new blue cart, with the provincial program preparing to launch in January. Bondi says she's collecting addresses from residents and passing them directly to Circular Materials, trying to sort things out before collection begins.
They're providing me reassurance that they will get to everybody. But I saw my list, I'm checking it twice, and I know there's more out there that are not on my list. I also know that Essex isn't unique. You know, this is happening in other communities, and I'm trying my hardest to get ahead of it because I know come January, our staff are going to be getting calls and complaints, and it's really not under municipal jurisdiction. It's a provincial program now, but I don't mind helping connect the dots and fill the gaps where I can.
A proposed townhouse development in South Windsor is sparking pushback, with residents worried about traffic, parking, and what it could mean for their street. CTV's Bob Belichico has more.
95% they said no to the project.
Issam Saeed and a group of Roseland residents canvassed the neighborhood, asking for their opinions on a proposed 16 townhouse development that may be built on the former site of St. James Church. And he says most people don't want it.
RD 1.4, single-family houses. That's what we are looking for. We are not against building houses. We are against building townhouses, to be clear.
So this property here is like an island in the middle of this South Windsor neighborhood in the Roseland area. Mr. Saeed would like to see the integrity of this neighborhood kept intact with custom-built homes rather than townhomes.
I think we've struck a good balance between density and, concern for the neighborhood.
Dave Petretta, president of Petcon Realty, tells CTV News he has been sensitive to the desires of the neighborhood from the beginning of this process as he grew up across the street.
The reason I bought it was to make sure there was some control about what happened there in terms of traffic, in terms of design, in terms of how things fit within the character of the neighborhood.
Petretta says the intent is not to turn the townhomes into rental units.
So there's no intent for transient occupancy, at least not for me. And certainly even the price point they're going to sell for it, it's just not economically viable to make these rental units.
Are you going to put a condition that you cannot rent it out? No, nobody can do that. So the new owners of these 6 units will do whatever they want.
Saeed worries the project would decrease property values and increase traffic in the neighborhood. The city's Development and Heritage Standing Committee approved the proposal earlier this month. Saeed has started a petition and plans to present it on January 12th when City Council votes on the proposal.
Hopefully the councillor will listen to us.
City Council approved the city's development on Roseland Golf Course, which is a 4 or 5 story building, which is way more intrusive and impactful and doesn't fit the character of the neighborhood. So if City Council has a problem with this, then they're certainly going to have a problem with that.
Bob Belichico, CTV News.
The new skating rink outside Windsor City Hall is officially open. Here's a look at the ribbon cutting from this weekend and the initial reactions.
This is more than just a sheet of ice. This is a community space. This is a place for us to all gather and celebrate it.
I mean, it means a lot. I grew up skating on ponds and stuff out in the woods, and that's not super accessible here in Windsor, but it's great that we have this option here so we can get out together.
Santa's gonna come.
And Santa's going to come too.
It's definitely a lot different than the old rink.
City Council made the bold decision to say we are not going to spend $1 million on an ice rink that is underperforming. We want to do something really nice for our community.
I think it's great. I think it's skating. I mean, I remember skating being really part of my Windsor culture when I was growing up here. Yeah, I think it's really cool.
It was super cold. My feet are numb, but it was super fun.
CTV meteorologist Julie Atchison has your full weather details coming up in 2 minutes' time. And still ahead, binoculars up and boots on, why birders from across the region flocked to Point Pelee for a century-old Christmas tradition, even in the frigid cold. CTV meteorologist Julie Atchison is here with our first look at the weather tonight. And Julie, today was bitterly cold. Is it going to get any better?
Yeah, temperatures are going to come up tomorrow, but it's cold out there tonight, that's for sure. We're dealing with wind chills close to -20, and that's where we'll start in the morning. But we have some sunshine on the way, and temperatures are set to rebound over the next couple of days, and we'll be back above freezing tomorrow. So that's some good news. But today was a cold one. -8 was our high temperature today. That's even colder than our normal overnight low. So bitterly cold temperatures. Essex County will see the mercury fall between -12 and -13 overnight, so feeling that wind chill as well. We do have a bit of cloud cover to contend with, although we will be under the influence of high pressure for tomorrow, and that means some sunshine on the way. So conditions in Essex County tomorrow will start the morning with a bit of cloud, but quickly becoming mainly sunny. As we head through the afternoon, a mix of sun and cloud. Wednesday, increasing cloud cover. Our next weather system will be dropping in, and this one has rain with it, so we will introduce the chance for showers Wednesday, but that probability will go up Thursday as the main area of low pressure comes in. So as we take a look at the forecast model, you can see Wednesday morning there is a bit of mixed precipitation around. So in Lambton County, this is showing some icing, so watching for that. But although the probability is on the lower side Wednesday, it's really Thursday that I'm focusing on in this forecast. So for tomorrow, waking up to those wind chills in the -teens, close to -20, mix of sun and cloud. By the afternoon, though, 1 degree, and it'll be mainly sunny, looking like a gorgeous day on the way. We deserve it. As we head into Wednesday, mainly cloudy and +2, and you can see the probability a bit of an uptick there at 30%. It'll be breezy as well tomorrow. I wanted to mention that. Winds continuing out of the southwest, 30 with gusts to 50. The next low pressure area that arrives will come in for Thursday with rain, not snow, and gusty winds. The high 6 degrees. So going from a high today of -8 all the way up to +6. So that is a major swing. As we head into your Friday, we're back down to -4 with a chance of flurries. Probability of 40% chance. This is lake effect flurries on the backside of that system as that cold air flows over Lake Michigan. Heading into Saturday, a 40% chance of a rain snow mix. The high 3 +1 with mainly cloudy conditions on Sunday, and a mix of sun and cloud will be at the freezing mark as we head into your Monday. So temperatures over the next 7, Travis, looking much better than we have been in previous weeks. We dig our way out of the deep freeze, and we have rain in the forecast. Thursday, not snow. Back to you.
All right, thank you very much, Julie. Premier Doug Ford says his government has no plans to sell off a stockpile of American alcohol sitting in storage.
It's not as easy as it sounds. We just can't sell it off. And I'm not going to do that during Christmas holidays when it will hurt our wineries, it will hurt our distilleries, and it's just not going to happen. I want to support local jobs and opportunities here.
The Ontario Liberals have been pushing the province to direct the LCBO to sell and donate the proceeds to charity. The American alcohol was pulled from shelves in March amid the ongoing trade war. Roughly $80 million worth of booze is in storage, and about $2 million could expire in the next 6 months. In Ottawa, the federal Conservative leader is accusing the Prime Minister of orchestrating a majority government through backroom deals. Those comments come as rumors swirl of more potential floor crossers defecting to the Liberals. With the latest, here's CTV's Mike Lacouture.
Outside Michael Maugh's constituency office, a small but vocal protest demanded answers to why the Markham Unionville MP crossed the floor to the Liberals.
I feel very upset, and we fight for our future. We fight for democracy. We fight for our children.
In a statement last week, Maugh said he made his decision after listening carefully to the people in his riding about the direction of the country. Sources tell CTV News the energy minister helped recruit the former Conservative. Asked if there are others ready to join the government, Hodgson would only say this.
Let's say I'm getting lots of inquiries.
Conservative Alberta MP Matt Genereux met with Prime Minister Carney in November before deciding to quit politics. That was just days after Nova Scotia MP Chris d'Entremont crossed the floor, citing Pierre Poilievre's leadership. Now, in an interview with CTV's chief political correspondent Vassy Kapelos, the Conservative leader denied he is a liability to his party.
I'm very troubled that they made that decision, but the people in their ridings voted for the Conservative agenda that I'm continually leading on in the House of Commons.
One more floor crossing would secure a majority government for the Liberals. While he wasn't able to rule out more defections, Poilievre called the move undemocratic.
If Mark Carney believes that he should have a majority to go ahead with the high-cost policies he's running on, then he should get that mandate from Canadians in an election, not through dirty backroom deals.
Even if another Conservative crosses the floor, Poilievre says he will remain at the helm of his party for his leadership review in January. Mike Lecouteur, CTV News, Ottawa.
Canada's main stock index edged lower as the price of oil fell. The TSX lost 44 points in New York. The Dow fell 41. The Nasdaq dropped 138. The Canadian dollar is technically down, just losing a 1/100th of a cent. On commodity markets, gold gained almost $7 an ounce. Oil lost 62 cents a barrel. Volunteers took to Point Pelee today for the 73rd annual Christmas bird count, a long-running effort that helps scientists track bird populations. CTV's Chris Campbell has more on what was spotted and why it matters.
From sunrise to late afternoon, volunteers crisscrossed Point Pelee National Park, binoculars in hand, counting every bird they could identify.
All you have to do is kind of keep an eye out.
The event is part of the longest-running citizen science program in North America, with data from Point Pelee contributing to a continent-wide snapshot of bird populations.
We saw some eastern bluebirds, we saw a bunch of waterfowl, so many of them actually far out. They kind of look like an insect swarm with how many of them are coming off the water.
We've got some ducks and eastern bluebird and a red-tailed hawk.
The Christmas bird count began in 1900 and each year provides researchers with critical long-term data on bird populations and migration patterns.
I think it's great. That's why I'm here.
It's really important because this is the largest citizen science push in North America.
Organizers say Point Pelee plays an important role because of its location along 3 major migratory routes, making it a hot spot for both resident and visiting species.
We want to know what's in the park. We want to know how many there are, possibly. And that data can be used for all sorts of different things after the fact.
By late morning, birders had more than 24 species recorded, with hopes of seeing 100 by the end of the day. Volunteers spotting everything from waterfowl to songbirds, despite winter conditions.
There aren't very many birders, or birds for that matter, near the top of the lookout tower here, the new observation deck at Point Pelee National Park. It's a little windy, a little cold, but hey, the Christmas bird count is going. There's a few seagulls if that's your sort of thing, but other than that, it's better probably to stay down on the ground.
It's a lot better than in summer because there's no leaves, so you have better sight lines.
While the work requires cold hours outdoors, participants say it's also about learning, connection, and conservation.
Not a lot of people go out in the middle of winter to count birds, so it's important to know what's here now when there's not as many birders out to be able to use those apps and use the information for recording that.
The information collected here will be added to a national database used by scientists and conservation groups to monitor long-term trends in bird populations. At Point Pelee National Park near Leamington, Chris Campbell, CTV News.
Discussion here at Windsor City Hall.
Windsor's top stories.
A major project is about to get underway.
Breaking news alerts.
Severe weather is a possibility.
And watch live.
Good evening and thank you for joining us.
Download the CTV News app.
CTV meteorologist Julie Atchison is back with a look at the 7-day forecast. Julie, some nicer days ahead, I should say, a little warmer, right?
Absolutely. It's been so cold. I know many people really struggling. You have to be bundled up when temperatures are this cold, and for some dangerously cold if you're spending an extended period of time outside. So with wind chills close to that minus 20 mark overnight, it's very cold. And first thing tomorrow morning as well. But by tomorrow afternoon, we have some sunshine on the way. You can soak up a bit of vitamin D as long as you're dressed for it in the high 1. 2 degrees and cloudy on Wednesday, and rain arrives Thursday. Gusty winds, the high 6 degrees. A brief dip to minus 4 on Friday with flurries, and then the risk of a rain-snow mix Saturday. This forecast is going to be up and down, keeping an eye on some very changeable conditions. When temperatures dip near the freezing mark and we have those weather systems come in, they can go either way. Where it won't go either way is Thursday, and it will be a rainfall, not a snow, and temperatures averaging back to where we should be for this time of year, with a brief swing up on Thursday and a drop off on Friday. Back to you.
Thank you, Julie. Finally tonight, and heading into the holidays, a Windsor man says he's hoping a gift to his community will help brighten their Christmas.
I want to donate this bottle because I want to contribute to the Filipino Community Center here in Windsor.
Daniel Aguilar built and donated a star lantern to the Filipino Community Center of Windsor, Essex. Made out of bamboo sticks, Aguilar says it takes about half an hour to make and is traditional holiday symbol in his culture. For the past 7 years, Aguilar says he's crafted the lanterns to help Filipinos living in Windsor.
Everywhere you go, especially in the market, at church, and the government buildings, they all around you see parole everywhere. They're gonna be homesick, but to release the homesick, you can come here to Filipino Community Center and join us.
That's our time for tonight. I hope you'll join us tomorrow. For now, I'm Travis Fortnum. Take care.